Kevin Stefanski, Shedeur Sanders had some really good moments. In second start, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders made his second start for the Browns on Sunday, with Cleveland losing to San Francisco 26-8. Head coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters in his Monday news conference that Sanders had some really good moments in the contest. Despite the loss, there are things that he wants back that we're coaching up right now that he can improve upon, Stefanski said via transcript from the team. But bottom line is we have to continue to put our players in position to succeed. For the young quarterback, you only get better with more turns at this thing in these games. As you see more coverages, as you see more defenses, and as you prepare versus different defenses. So just looking forward to that constant improvement with Shedeur and for all of our young players. While Stefanski reiterated he's thinking week to week when it comes to the quarterback position, he noted he's been pleased with Sanders' progress. He wants to continue to get better and better. And that's the right attitude to have. And that's why we'll continue to work, Stefanski said. In his 3 appearances with 2 starts this season, Sanders has completed 51% of his passes for 405 yards with 2 touchdowns. And to interceptions, Kevin Stefanski didn't smile often. Not on the sidelines, not in post-game pressers. Even when the Browns were rolling, his expression was usually the same: flat, steady, unreadable, like a poker player who had memorized the whole deck. But on this night, after Shedeur Sanders' second NFL start, there was a glimmer, not a grin, not a laugh, but something real cutting through that coach's mask. Because Stefanski knew what everyone else was just beginning to understand. Shedeur Sanders wasn't here to participate. Shedeur Sanders was here to change things. The backdrop, a city on edge, Cleveland had been begging, praying for stability at quarterback for decades. They wanted a leader who wasn't afraid of the lights or the pressure, or the weight of a franchise whose fans had endured heartbreak after heartbreak like it was a seasonal flu. Shedeur entered the league with expectations tattooed on his name. The Sanders brand wasn't subtle. Eyes rolled. Critics sharpened their knives. They said he held the ball too long, said he couldn't handle NFL pressure, said he didn't have that pro-level processing. Then came start no. One, not perfect, not a disaster, just the opening chapter of a rookie finding oxygen in the NFL fire. But start no. 2, that's where the story shifted. A rookie who doesn't play like a rookie. Stefanski stood at the podium, the lights glaring, reporters angled forward, microphones stretched like necks at a zoo. What did you see from Shedeur today? Someone asked. The coach exhaled. A lot of really good moments, he said. And if you listen closely, there was pride buried under that calm tone. Because Stefanski had seen it before anyone else. The micro details that separate talented rookies from future franchise quarterbacks. He saw Shedeur change protections at the line, calling out blitzes veterans sometimes miss. He saw him look off a safety with the eyes of a quarterback who studies film like it's scripture. He saw him stand tall in collapsing pockets, trusting his throwing platform even as 280 pounds of edge pressure swirled around him like a tornado. He saw the poise. He saw the hunger. He saw the growth. And most importantly, he saw a quarterback who didn't flinch. The moment that said everything, though, was a moment late in the second quarter, one that didn't show up in any highlight reel, one that only football nerds and coaches notice: a blown assignment, a free rusher. Shedeur's eyes snapped wide for a split second. Then he reset, slid one step back, one step left, and delivered a dime on a deep dig route on time, in rhythm, with a defender practically breathing into his face mask. Stefanski saw that moment. That was the moment that made him believe he was coaching more than just a rookie. He was coaching a weapon. Cleveland's locker room feels IT to veterans. Don't just hand out respect, especially not to a rookie quarterback. But in the Browns' locker room, it was different. Players nodded at Shedeur when he walked in. O-line slapped his shoulder pads harder than before. Receivers looked at him like they wanted the ball every snap. Leadership isn't declared. It's noticed, and Shedeur's leadership was starting to glow, even if he didn't force it. He joked with players, held film sessions late at night, texted receivers about route tweaks, asked defensive backs what they saw during practice reps. He didn't come in acting like a star. He acted like a worker. NFL locker rooms love that. The city is starting to buy in. Cleveland fans are loyal, but they're guarded. They've seen too much heartbreak to trust quickly. But Shedeur had something the city responded to: swagger without arrogance, confidence without entitlement, fire without chaos, the way he carried himself, the way he spoke after the game, calm, honest, grounded. It made the city lean forward. They knew this wasn't some diva quarterback. This was a kid raised in pressure who wasn't afraid to face more of it. Stefanski's internal battle. Stefanski would never say this out loud, but the truth was simple. Shedeur gave him more pages to work with in the playbook, more intermediate throws, more pre-snap reads, more control of tempo. With most rookies, you shrink things down. With Shedeur, you expanded. That's rare. Coaches dream about that type of rookie. They tell stories about them decades later. The national media starts to shift. Media came into the season with sharpened commentary. But after this second start, they weren't talking about expectations anymore. They were talking about mechanics, about pocket presence, about grit. They weren't talking about Dion. They were talking about Shedeur. The kid had arrived on his own terms. The future feels different. No, Stefanski knew this was just the beginning. He also knew there would be rough patches. Rookies don't escape those. But he also knew something else. If you give Shedeur Sanders a problem, he's going to solve it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. And that's why Stefanski's voice carried weight when he said he had some really good moments.